So, Jessica, you've brought me into this room with this blue suede couch in a room that you can't hear me scream. What are we going to do?
Well, obviously, we're going to be talking nerdy.
Oh, goodness. How nerdy.
As nerdy as we can get. Welcome to Talk Nerdy to Me, and today I am joined with Kate. Welcome, Kate.
Thank you very much.
Are you ready to talk nerdy? It sounds like you are.
I am totally ready to talk nerdy.
Oh, I love it. So tell me, you're responsible for everyone's TV purchase in Canada, right?
Almost, yes. I am the senior category leader for Best Buy's television department, which is equivalent to a senior buyer. And I buy all of the televisions for Best Buy Canada's retail stores.
So you shop for a living?
I do, yeah. I get to shop for TVs for a living. It's a pretty good gig.
That is pretty good. Where were you before TVs? I know you've hopped a little bit around at Best Buy, so tell me how you ended up in the TV department.
Oh, it's a long tale. I've actually been with the company for a very long time. I think the 17 years is the total now. And I've worked in operations, and I worked in a number of different categories in merchandising. Most recently, I worked managing the desktop and monitor business, so a lot of gaming desktops and monitors, and I am now the senior buyer for TVs.
Amazing. So basically, in other words, you went from smaller screens to bigger screens.
Yeah.
So if you buy TVs, does that mean you get to test them?
I do. I should.
Nice.
I should test them. You know, my job is to make sure that we are predicting the Canadian market, that we are providing our customers with the best options possible. So part of that, of course, is testing televisions and getting to know the new technologies that are coming out in the market. And it's been fun, to say the least. Of course, there's going to be better and poorer quality televisions, but there's always something that's right for each one of our customers. Whether it's a student's dorm room, or that little kitchen television that you have above your cereal shelf, or something that you're proud to show your friends on game day. Nice. We've got a little bit of something for everybody.
All right, something that our previous guest talked about was how some customers, when they walked into a Best Buy when he was a sales rep, was that it was as difficult to buy a TV as it was to buy a car, because there's so many models out there and different letters. And I'm kind of with that sometimes, in the sense of there's LED, mini LED, QLED, OLED. So when you walked into the home theater space, did you have to reorient yourself, or what was your learning journey like, or did you even have one at all?
Oh my God, I absolutely did. I mean, I'm a tech enthusiast, as most of us are at Best Buy, but I was woefully underprepared for the breadth of options in TVs. I really was. And I mean, it's so much information that I wish I knew in past years. I used to live in one of these glass condos downtown, and it was extremely bright, and I had a, entry-level 4K product TV, and I couldn't see it for the life of me when I was watching Harry Potter. No, I was definitely watching something so much cooler. But now I know all about TV technology, and it's fascinating. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm having such a great time in this role, is that it's such a continuously evolving category, and this year is such a fun time to be in it, because we get to launch RGB.
For our customers out there that are walking into a store feeling like they're buying a car because there's so many different letters, it's the alphabet soup of TVs, give us a one-liner on what this technology is. I'll give you a few. Does that work?
Absolutely.
Great. Let's start with OLED.
All right. OLED are individually controlled pixels. Now, they can turn on and off completely, so when you are looking at a dark scene, it is truly dark. Those blacks are black, and the definition is impeccable.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, QLED.
QLED is actually a quantum dot layer on top of LED lights. So Q is quantum dot, and LED is just a type of backlighting. There can be different qualities of QLED, so it's important to make sure that you're aware of that. And that quantum layer will help produce a better picture quality.
Mini LED.
Okay, mini LED is simply an LED, but that has a lot more LEDs. So thousands and thousands of individually controlled LEDs to light the picture. So there's local dimming zones that make sure that there's less color bleed, that there's brighter color when there's a bright scene, and it really, really looks fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah.
And last one, RGB.
RGB LED TVs, the best technology out there in my opinion, are individually controlled red, green, and blue LED lights. So it's a type of backlighting that makes truer colors really wonderful color gamut, which means you can see more colors in your pictures. So think about like the folds on a dress, or the petals of a flower, where there's different gradients of the same color. You're going to see an amazing reproduction of that. And super bright. We don't have those filters that can block some of the light. So those red, green, and blue filters that a regular TV would have, there's little or none, making that picture a lot brighter.
So something I've been seeing in the Reddit community, because that's what everyone does, they go to Reddit first to find out everyone's opinion.
Absolutely.
A question being asked there, and I'd love to get your take, is RGB going to challenge OLED?
So, I think the way I see OLED and RGB is not as challengers by any means. It's really what fits your lifestyle and your use case, right? So if you are a cinema enthusiast and you have a movie room that's dimly lit, that's optimized for TV and movie viewing, then OLED is still top quality. You're getting those individually controlled pixels that turn all the way on, all the way off, so you can really get high definition of color, no bleed, true blacks, and it's an excellent quality picture. With RGB, it's a much different technology, so it's really for people who have brightly lit rooms, who want really bright, vibrant content. And it's really fantastic for anybody who lives in one of these glass condos, or a modern living room that has lots of natural light. And I think it's going to be really fantastic for people who are watching a lot of sports during the daytime. It's not just about movie nights. It's about having your friends over for game day or gaming. I think that there's a stereotype of a gamer in his basement with all the lights turned off, so that he's getting that true reproduction of the game that he's playing and immersed in, where now we can reproduce these amazing experiences in broad daylight, as bright as really it's the brightest colors and picture quality that you will see.
That was really well said. So what I'm hearing is that RGB really is for anybody who just wants that vibrant color. So would you say that there is a particular customer for RGB, or is it really just applies to everybody and their use case?
We have launched a campaign, and it is believing is seeing. And we mean that because once you see RGB in person, you will understand. And I think anybody who walks into a Best Buy store and looks at an RGB LED TV can notice how wonderful and bright and impressive that picture is. So it really is for anybody who appreciates that, and everybody who has certain conditions that would allow them to take full advantage of that. The other benefit of RGB LED is that there's no risk of burnout, and that's a small risk with OLED. It's rare, and I know that the technology is coming along, but there's no risk of burnout with RGB LEDs. So you can have static interfaces. So think about like a sports broadcast where there's a static interface that shows the score, or a static interface that you have in a video game that you're playing, which is very common. And so you could be playing that for months and not have any concerns whatsoever. And then the other cool thing is that it's really scalable. So you can have really, really large screens. And I know that's not for everybody, it's not for me. But the screen sizes go all the way up to 115 inches, and they can scale a lot better and more economically than a lot of other panel technologies.
Nice.
So if you are looking for the ultimate home theater experience with a huge screen that's just going to blast out the most vibrant colors that you've ever seen, and you go for RGB.
Nice. You know what they say about big screens?
Big trucks.
Big sound bars.
Oh, awesome.
So that was a great explanation on who it's for and how to see it. But let's talk about cost now. Because I've seen like a $2,000 version of RGB, and I've seen a $24,000 price for RGB. So what's the difference there? What's the range getting you, like a 2K versus a 24K?
Well, obviously most people are not going to walk away with a $24,000 television. Predominantly those are going to be the ultimate flagship, extremely large screen RGB LED TVs that you see on the market. And that's really just the brands showcasing the technology, really, what is possible, right? So, we are not expecting, that to be a big turner in terms of unit volume. Most brands that we partner with have two series, more affordable series and then a super premium series. So there's also a discrepancy between that. So there's going to be a little bit more affordable options for everybody. The other determining factor is going to be the processor and the processing power. Similar to any TV technology, it does take a lot of processing power, and in this case, AI processing power, where each individual frame, the processor is going to need to determine which lights to turn on and which lights to turn off, right? So what is going to be red, green, and blue, and in what area of the screen. And the larger the screen is, obviously, the more complex it becomes. It's also extremely difficult to build, right? So as the technology matures and things get a little bit more efficient, then there's probably going to be some cost efficiencies down the road. But really what we're looking at right now is the coolest new technology that has come out in the Canadian, or I shouldn't say Canadian market, in the market in a very, very long time. And it is something to behold if you see it in person.
That's awesome. So where can someone then see an RGB TV?
Only at your local Best Buy. No, local Best Buys are a fantastic option if you are looking for a fantastic demo of RGB LED TV. We have plenty of models that are on demo and more coming. This is a new technology, so we are still rolling out demo units in most stores, but there will be a demo of RGB in each one of our stores across Canada.
Nice. And how many are there available to see now? Because I know that there is a slower rollout. Yeah. So what does that look like?
Well, it's really store by store. As you know, we have multiple different store experiences, so some have different layouts than others. But I would say that on average, you're probably going to get about 6 different options right now. I think the total lineup is more closely to like 25, 30 products that we'll end up having at each store. So it's got a good range and something for everybody.
All right, let's do a little segment called Save or Splurge. I'm going to give you a customer viewing type, and you're going to say what they would splurge on and what they would save on.
All right, let's do it.
All right. The viewer who loves reality TV shows.
Oh, not a huge lift. Probably a QLED for a save and a mini LED for a splurge.
Nice, nice. What about a gamer?
Oh, well, you're going to want a very, very fast refresh rate. In terms of picture quality, I'd say RGB LED TVs will probably provide the best. So that would be the splurge. I think mini LED would probably be, or our micro LED would be my save on that one.
Nice,
yeah.
Nice. What about the viewer who loves a National Geographic? They love nature shows.
See, I'm torn on this one. Because I'm thinking of, David Attenborough deep in the caves with the bats, and I'm like, OLED for sure. You're gonna want OLED as a splurge. But then, like the sunny savannah, and you're gonna want all those bright, bright green colors, and I don't know, like RGB LED would be also a wonderful option. So I guess it would depend on your viewing environment as your splurge OLED/RGB, and then your save would be a high-end mini LED.
Nice.
Yeah.
Last one, big sports fan. What should they save and splurge?
Again, you're probably going to want a fast refresh rate, and you're going to want very high picture quality. I would say RGB LED is a no-brainer on this one. So daytime television watching, sports, static interface, it's an RGB LED TV. I keep saying this one, but mini LED is probably going to be my save on that one.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, last question here on Talk Nerdy to Me. What was the last piece of consumer technology you bought?
I actually bought myself this watch, and I ignore it when it tells me to stand up and exercise and drink water, and now I just get buzzes to my wrist that I ignore instead of buzzes to my phone that I ignore.
And I lied. Okay, one last question. I have to know this one.
Okay.
What is your favorite TV brand to work with?
Oh, for sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Kate Irwin, Senior Category Leader of Best Buy Canada, and this is Talk Nerdy to Me.